There we go. The window has slammed shut. 11 p.m. Monday night. Nothing has changed after my video yesterday. The incomings, 3 incomings for Wolves. Emmanuel Agbadou, Nasser Dajiga and Marshall Manetzi. But now it begs the question, who are they going to replace to get into the new squad that Wolves have got to register to the Premier League? Now, this is quite complicated because there's a lot of homegrown rules and things like that. Obviously, Mario Lemina is gone to Galatasaray. Luke Kundle left for Millwall. So there's an impact, and I'll explain why those will be an impact. So let's quickly go through the rules. The homegrown rules is to try and promote teams to have what it says on the sim, really, as many young homegrown players in their squad as possible. So let's explain the rules. So the non-homegrown limit is 17 players. So you have to have, so if you want a 25-man squad, you have to have 8 homegrown players. But if you've only got 7 homegrown players, that means you can only have a squad of 24. Are you with me? It ain't that complicated. It makes sense. So to qualify as a homegrown player, you had to have played in a team in either England or Wales before their 21st birthday for 3 years. So I'll explain who our homegrown players were at the beginning of the season when the squad was registered in a minute. But you can have players in your current squad who you don't have to register who are under the age of 21. So the players who qualify for that, I'll reel them off now because they do not matter for these lists I'm about to mention. So Bastian Moipu, he is under 21, so he does not need to be registered. Pedro Lima, under 21. Rodrigo Gomez, under 21. Carlos Forbes. Now, I don't know if this is me just being dumb, but I did not realise that he was 20 years of age. So, yeah, another one that doesn't need to be on the list. Obviously, he stuck around. There was rumours whether he was going to go back to Ajax. And Enzo Gonzalez. Obviously, he's out with an ACL injury. But, yeah, so those players don't need to be included in these registration squad lists. I've explained the homegrown rules and examples. So, our squad that we registered back in September had 24 players in it. So, that means we had 7 homegrown players, which were Dan Bentley, Luke Kundle, Craig Dawson, Matt Doherty, Tommy Doyle, and Sam Johnston, and Tom King. So 7 homegrown, 7 plus 17 is 24. Now you think you're wondering, well, who's left, who's gone? So Luke Kundle obviously leaving means we have lost a homegrown player. So the squad that we will register next week to update after the January transfer window will have 23 players. You'll see them on your screen there. So the 6 homegrown players we've got are Dan Bentley now, Craig Dawson, Matt Doherty, Tommy Doyle, Sam Johnston, and Tom King. Now the 3 players that we are going to lose, obviously, is Mario Lemina, because he left for Galatasaray. Yerson Mosquera will be unregistered purely because he's got a real bad ACL injury and he wouldn't play anyway. But the really controversial one is Sasa Kalajdzic. Now, this is a controversial one, I say that, because he is pretty much not far off coming back, and we did not sign a striker this January. And he could have been a backup striker for Strand Larsen. I know we've got Guedes and Hwang, and I know he'll be way off it and he'd need a lot of match fitness. And just on Kalajdzic, obviously he had a really bad ACL injury before he even arrived at Wolves at a previous club. Then on his debut for Wolves in 2022, did tore his ACL under Bruno Lage, was out for, 6 months. He came back, wasn't very favoured by Gary O'Neill, so he went out on loan to Frankfurt, and then in February 2024, he did his ACL again. Now, back in November time, about the 18th of November, Gary O'Neill said he'd been back on the grass since October, and he was only a few weeks away of being back involved with the first team squad. So now we're in February 2025. He's training with the team. He's in there. So it begs the question, will Kalajdzic go out on loan? Because the Turkish window is still open. I think it's open to around the 10th, 11th of February. or will he just stick around? But he's going to be unregistered, so we can't use him anyway. So I think for him, if he feels fit enough to play and he feels almost recovered, I think we might see Kalajdzic go out on loan. Because if he just sticks around, he's just not going to do anything. I think it depends. We don't know all the details of behind the scenes, do we? It all depends on whether he actually wants to just continue his recovery to the end of the season and not play football. But I got a feeling we might see Kalajdzic go out on loan. So yeah, we're down to a 23-man squad now. And I found that very interesting because Wolves obviously had to manoeuvre a bit. And selling Kundal, I know it benefited his career, but we've lost a player there. We've lost a squad member. You know, we're down to 23. I know a lot of teams have only got 6 homegrown players. And the new guy, Sasa Kalajdzic, he's 22. So he only just missed out of being one of those players that don't need to be registered. So I found that very interesting. I thought I'd update you on that because I honestly I didn't even think of who would have to unregister, and I feel a bit sorry for Kalajdzic. He's had such a bad luck with his injuries, and it'd be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, comment your thoughts down below. Do you think that's the right decision? Yerson and Kalajdzic being the ones that we sacrificed to get the 3 new guys in. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Really appreciate the support on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you for the Blackburn FA Cup preview. Cheers, everyone.